Hey, you there. Thank you for watching and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Necrox's map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and players, starting with Team 1 up here to the northeast and ending with Team 2 down here in the southwest. To start off with the most eastern player here in the game. And on Team 1, it is the Savvy Crimson player of No Red For You, going first land as a Seraphim. And he is in red, as his name would suggest, saying only I can have the red, because you cannot have red, only he can. To the northeast, we have Muistel going first land as another Seraphim in royal purple. To the most northern player on Team 1, we have Crixion going first land as a Seraphim in... that's not Pac-Man yellow. No, that's glow in the dark green. Yep, that is glow in the dark green. To his west, we have Zardos going first air as a UEF, very sensible choice in Imperial Gray. I feel like Zardos is from something. No, that's Zardon. No, I feel like Zardos is from something. Anyway, and last but not least here for Team 1, we have another UEF player. It is Jip going first land as a UEF in Stitch Blue, very sensible color for that faction. For Team 1, their racial makeup is 2 UEF, 2 Seraphim, and 1 Cyber. No Aeon Tech. For Team 1, no Donuts, no Colossus, and no Paragons. Starting here on Team 2, we have the westernmost player in Light Oak Tam. We have SPCR going first land as an Aeon, and he's going to start moving in a northward direction here. To his east, we have the Wreck going first land in Royal Blue as a UEF. Again, the blues for the UEF, very sensible colors for those factions. It very complements their design, I feel like. In the southernmost portion of the map, we have the emerald green player of Emajipka. I'm going to call him M. Going first land as a Seraphim. To his east as another Aeon, we have TYOF going first, second, third, fourth land in Ruby Red as a Aeon. And last but not least here for Team 2, in Pac-Man Yellow, we have Pepe's going first and probably second land at some point. Maybe second air, but most likely second land as a Cybern in Pac-Man Yellow. Team 2 side of things, for racial makeup, we have 2 Aeon, a Seraphim, a Cybern, and an UEF. So all of the races are represented here. Wait, sorry, there's Seraphim, Aeon, 2 Aeon, UEF, and Cybern. Yep, okay. All of the races are represented here for Team 2. Let's take a look at Reclaim here before our players scoop it all up. We are at 8,337. Almost elite. Just needs that to be a 1. I don't feel like there's hardly been any reclaim, if at all, so that's probably the exact number of the map. And in terms of mass point distribution, well, there is a decent amount of groupings here. We have just on, let's say, cut the map in half down a diagonal. Well, no, horizontal. We'll cut it down the horizontal. No, I think diagonal would actually be better. Anyway, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 4 mass points. That's a lot of mass just sitting in groups. And then there's some like splattering of other mass points around the map, but not really a whole lot in the middle. So there'll probably be a lot more contention over here to the east and northwest over these couple on this plateau, and then around this corner in the northwest and southeast corners. So let's take a look here at what our players are currently doing in terms of moving forward. Well, the comms of Zardos and looks like No Red For You are staying in their bases for now, while we have 3 comms on the move for Team 1, each in a different lane, essentially. Well, this one does look like it's moving. Is moving at least on that eastern side. And then for Team 2, we have 1, 2, 3. Where's number 4? Where's the Pac-Man? Oh, Pac-Man's right here. Pac-Man Yellow player of Pepe's. We have 4 players on Team 2 pushing forward. That will give them a decent advantage to whatever side they decide to push on. It does look like the Wreck might be pushing on... Well, he has an option to go both ways, but I wouldn't be surprised to see if he grabs this quad of mexes and then maybe goes east. I think that's... Yeah, it looks like he is going east. That'd be probably the better point of contention there. It does look like we have some drops here from Team 2 trying to drop here on this upper plateau. Going to go after this group of Moroks and then go for 1 engineer. I don't even know where this one's going. Oh, it's going to grab the reclaim over here. I don't know. Probably, I mean, he does have another engineer down here, but he's starting to grab the eastern corner, or the southeast corner at least, of these mexes. Trying to scoop up all of them before they are trying to be taken by his opponent. Gun and damage range going down here for Jip here in the middle. This is going to root him to the spot, but he is pretty much in the middle of that cause. But he needs the intro a little bit to be in the exact middle. But it'll essentially force these mech marines, these hunters, to push eastward. They're going to go after this lone little engineer. I'm assuming, oh, I don't know. If the engineer gets the reclaim order off quick enough, it might work. Let's see if this engineer sees it. It does. Does it get out of range? It does. The hunter's barely alive with 1 hit point left, and that engineer dies. Ow. That's all I have to say is, ow, that must hurt. We have calm engagements here pretty soon here from Team 1. Does look like the calm of Crixion, not Crixion, of Zardos did come to assist on that front line, and it is a 2v1 scenario here for the western side of the map. SPCR is outnumbered. Does have the long-range Aurora, but they are tinfoil, so not really super strong, and the plasma will be thrown at one another. Zardos opening up onto SPCA. Sounds like I'm saying YMCA every time I say that name, and I can hear the song in my head. But does look like Zardos is trying to cut off his northwestern retreat, while Crixion takes kind of an approach of trying to at least kind of keep a wider berth, not being completely confined in this corner of the map. But he does need to come closer to his opponent here of SPCA. Units are grouping to take out Zardos. Zardos is outnumbered. Crixion, of course, is the Cybran, has the least amount of hit points on his comm, but they are both focusing fire on the commander itself. The building PD, or at least SPCA is, gets one of them built, gets out of range fairly quickly on that commander, but it will lock down this western position a little bit here. Units kind of streaming in 1 or 2 at a time. Zardos will retreat. SPCA will as well. Dropped almost, actually, just barely under 50% of his hit points. Gun damage range fairly far forward here for Zardos. I don't know about that. Should have probably gone a little bit further, probably to this little point here for some protection from the plateau. But it does look like pings go down here from, I think, I don't know, from Team 2 SPCA, noting there is air above his commander. Probably thinking there's something going on, maybe some bombers or something. But in the middle, we have another conflict. Jib is being, actually, he's really hurting. He even has the gun upgrade, but Pepe's going for stealth. That'll help assist with blocking out that pesky radar signature, but still can be seen by vision. Of course, Jib, has a nice little view of the commander, but once his units die, he will not know where that commander is for a while. He's actually going to come out of vision here for a second. Yep, there he goes. You can see him disappear. He has now lost the comm. He can even see the shots come from that commander, but just can't see it on radar. Can see it on vision, but not on radar. And that will give Pepe's a slight advantage. There are multiple units now going to surround that comm, but Pepe's has to be kind of cognizant of that. He is, of course, short stacking it on the hit points. He does have 12,000 versus the UEF commander's 13,200. But still needs to be wary of that. More units come in to just surround that comm of Pepe's. On the eastern side, we don't see a lot of conflict. Not really a lot of pushing here. We are seeing conflict to the northwest, though. Zardos and Crixion are being pushed back by a huge amount of fervor fire. And they don't have a lot of units supporting them as well. So it is looking really dicey here on that northwestern side. And Pepe's as well in the red. Jib is going to go for the jugular here. Overcharges goes in constantly, but it's not enough. And this will be a kill here for Team 2 at 9 minutes, 6 seconds. Jib is the one who claims that kill and is now a 5v4 here in favor of Team 2. Then that forcer from Jib will push forward, take out these structures here, I guess now for the wreck. And he will probably give that, no, he is in the middle, so he'll probably handle that. But he already has T3 air at, I would assume, 9 minutes. Does he have the T3 mix? Or the T3 PGent? No, he's building engineers as we speak. So we're probably just finished. To the northeast, Zardos is helping Crixion retreat. SPCA is in the red. Sub, essentially 2,000 hit points. Couple more shots goes in that commander. Sub 13. Oh, a couple more shots. Zardos notices it. Will this be not necessarily a double kill, but it is a kill here for Team 1 as well. And this will drop Zardos almost below 3,000. And this will be now a 5v3 in favor of Team 1. It does look like the Calm of the Wreck is pushing forward. Going to build a couple of torpedo launchers to protect himself in case there is some issues with maybe he's thinking Zardos will come into the water to see what is going on, or at least hide. And he doesn't notice what's going on, of course, because he doesn't have sonar. But he'll probably see the torpedo launcher platform here pretty soon. Yep, there are these shots. Engineers will be one-shotted here. And then he will get out of that water fairly quickly. But the wreck emerges from the water. And this is going to be a not great scenario here for Zardos. Zardos did get a rank efficiency here, but now the wreck has T2 and gun versus Zardos is just only gun. Crixian is nearby as well. He probably could have won that fight, but really wants to be cognizant of that just in case, for some reason, the calm kill does drop him close enough to death, and then Crixian finishes him off. So good move on the wreck, saying, nah, it's probably not a good idea. And now the floodgates are open in the middle. Team 2 is bleeding heavily in terms of their front line. Units getting into the main production facilities here for the wreck. These facilities were knocked out pretty quickly. This is going to be the next target here for Team 1's player of Jib. Does even look like some assistance here from Mui is coming in as well. He's over here to the east. He has a T2 upgrade on his commander, but that's about it. We are having just kind of a standoff tactics here, almost here, for the eastern side PD being built here for, I guess, one player. I was going to say, was that radar getting some adjacency? But no. Or at least right next to it, it is not. No red for you is retreating. At least for now, at least positioning better. TYOF. What is up with the four-letter word names for Team 2? There's 2 players on Team 2 that have these types of names. But no red for you. Being assaulted by that Aeon commander. He doesn't. He has T2 and gun. Does not have range, or in speed. Does not have range. Or is that? Oh, that's speed. Yeah, that's not range. But those units here from the Aeon commander starting to do well with that. But of course, we have a Oblivion turret, a bunch of Aurora. Aurora do have range. They shouldn't be charging forth. They should be hanging back. TYOF building a wall to kind of mess with those pathing of his opponent's units. But no red for you is taking a lot of damage. He does have the nano upgrade, so he'll be able to rep up those hit points fairly quickly compared to TYOF's only 220 hit points a second versus 76. So it does look like not either team really got anywhere out of that. I feel like maybe no red for you got a little bit better exchange, maybe, but just barely. But he doesn't have the infrastructure to support him if he were to retreat. And so if Team 2 breaks this eastern side, it is just open season here. There is a artillery piece here that will start pummeling on the TYOF's position. Is it? Oh, wrong team. Yep, it is in range. So that will start having some very not great situations here for TYOF here on the eastern side. Needs some shields is pretty much what it is. But the wreck now on 3 bases. He has a decent amount of eco now. 222. The second highest player in the game is on Team 1. It is Moi at just barely over 100. That'll give him a huge advantage, especially with him having air. Going to build some torp bombers for some reason. And now he has a couple of gunships going after Crixian. Crixian is under threat here. Zardos to the northwest. Crixian trying to retreat into the water. We have some ASFs here for him, but it's not going well. And this will be a kill here for the wreck, dropping this game to a 4v3. Still in favor of Team 1. A couple of interceptors are brought in to take out those gunships. They do take them out, and then the ASFs from the wreck annihilate them. Oh, I guess there's one more. Will Zardos make it into the water? Well, if he does, even if he does, there are these torp bombers in the back. They're waiting. You can see them. They're waiting. They're like, go into that water. Go into that water. Does he know? He doesn't have that sonar signature, but they are here. I don't think they have any. They don't have any Omni, so they can't see him under the water. It does look like, is he going for, he is going for a naval factory here, which would be very interesting. Maybe build some frigates or something to help deal with those riptides. Those are blazes, not riptides. Those are blazes. To the east, does look like a little bit more momentum here for Team 1's player of No Red For You. Of course, there is that artillery piece up here kind of shelling this position. Not kind of, it is shelling this position. But TYOF is pushing forth with a couple of Oblivion turrets. There's some Ilshis that are just being annihilated here. This one's going to die. There it goes. Missiles are a nice counter to PD, and then TMD, especially the volcanoes, are a nice counter to missiles. You got to have those counters for the counter. 2 players on Team 2 now have T3 air in the form of course, the Wreck and M. I'm kind of hanging back a lot of this game. Haven't seen a whole lot out of them so far. But with having T3 air, I wouldn't be surprised to see him build some either strat bombers or gunships. One of the two. He is Seraphim, so he has both those. And he probably easily could get some type of UEF or... does he have Aeon? Does the Wreck have Aeon tech? Well, TYOF does. Maybe he could get an Aeon facility and build some restores. Really no air, says Zados. Yeah, that is kind of weird. Team 1 has not essentially absolutely no air, but... oh, Zardos is going under threat. He's sub under... whoa! Ouch. Before I could even get a word out in edgewise, he died. Now this game is tied up at a 3v3. That's probably why Zardos said really no air. Yeah, Team 1 has no air, even though they have they almost have a T3 facility. They do have a T3 facility in the form of Jib. But that's kind of a missed opportunity. I heard Strat Bomber. Where is it? Oh, it is on the front lines. As I mentioned earlier, Jib is under threat from a Strat Bomber. But that is a lot of mobile T1 AA. Is that all T1 mobile AA? I think so. Oh, that was really quick. But we have a floating army here from TYOF. Decides that front line is not really worth holding on and decides to launch a flanking maneuver, but there are a couple of Riptides here. I mean, they won't stand against the combined power of all of these Aurora. How many Aurora are there? 66 Aurora. A couple of T3 tanks, sorry, T2 tanks aren't going to hold them off. They're going to start spilling into that front line, or at least partially front line. They should go after this facility right here, because already that one's going to fall fairly quickly. Probably go after these mixes. But once they put themselves up there on that upper plateau, they're going to be stuck here. Essentially what's going to happen is Jib and Moya are just going to cut off their incoming advancements and pretty much halt them. There's a lot of AA, which the AA cannot fire on ground units. No Red For You has eliminated this front line here for Team 2's player of TYOF. TYOF has fallen back and to build more here. This is a tighter, not a tighter, it's a narrower, not field of view, what we call landmass or area. And so he's able to focus fire heavily in this, tighter environment, which would pretty much ensure that any AoE splash will definitely do maximum amount of damage. But Team 2's player of the Wreck having that much air, of course, he did get T3 air fairly quickly at 9 minutes, so 25 ASFs isn't too bad. He also has to focus on a ground game here, and actually 2 ground games, one in the middle and one on the top, and air. It's a lot to manage. He has a 2200. If I were to bet anybody to do it, I would bet on him to do all of that APM micro work. But it does look like Jib has the missile launcher on his commander. Would love to see him go for that Billy Nuke, but he is targeting the mass extractors here for TYOF, assisting his teammate here to the east of No Red For You. Takes out 4, I think those were at least T2. Yeah, I would assume those are T2 mass extractors. That'll cut TYOF's eco a decent amount, but the Wreck is almost at, is at 350, closing in on that 400 milestone. Team 1, in terms of overall, is leading by only about 40 to 50 mass a second, depending on fluctuations and reclaim and all of that. And Team 2, they're pretty much being heralded by just the Wreck by himself at almost 400 mass a second. Both these 1100s here on Team 2 kind of just, they are holding their own, 79 to 80 mass. Would like to see them go at least above 100. But we are seeing T3 units in the form of Harbingers. These are gonna annihilate these T1 forces here for Jib. I want to say Sip or Jif for the Jif peanut butter. For some reason that always pops in my head. I think it's just the way it just looks on screen, where it almost looks like the text for Jif peanut butter. I don't know. For some reason I have peanut butter on the brand. I don't know why. T2 on the way here for No Red For You. Going to start building up some factories probably, or at least building up some defenses and Utashalas and shields. Of course, they are the Seraphim shields. They are the most annoying to puncture. Also, T3 Radar says SPCA. What is he talking about? Sneak blazes past here, says Pepe's. Yep, sneak them around the corner of the map. There is a decent amount of AA here. They could pump out some tanks. They are actually doing that now with some Riptides. We are seeing Jiff going for a decent amount of SAMs on this northern plateau. Wants to ensure there's no accidental run-by issues. But we are seeing one Harbinger up here. It looks like it was dropped off. At least that's the only way that can get up there. Unless it went... Actually, there is no way up there. It has to be dropped off. The Harbinger will just have his run of the place. The AA can't really do a whole lot. T1 tanks can do a little bit, but not a whole lot. And now we're seeing, of course, more Harbingers trying to puncture that front land facilities here for Jib. But Jib did produce a T3 gunship form of a Stinger. It'll take out one of those Harbingers. It does take a while to take those out, and the shield just came back online, so now it's going to take a lot more time. The transport lands right next to that Harbinger. It's not really going to do a whole lot, though. Just going to hang out. That front line in the middle here for Jip, not really being pushed. Should get more facilities online in terms of shields, PD, that sort of thing, just to protect his comm, because it is kind of a walk back to his front line here in the middle. It's kind of... I feel weird about this. He should have more shielding, or at least something here, but he doesn't. We are seeing T1 bombers start to take out some outlying mexes and facilities here for Team 2 in the form of M's Eco. We are seeing T1 interceptors on a collision course with those bombers, though. So those will be taken out, but we also have T1 interceptors here for No Red for You as well. I'm not seeing a lot of T3 air out of pretty much anybody but the Wreck. Well, we're seeing some from Jip, but that's kind of weird. I feel like there should be more T3 air at essentially 22 minutes, but now that front line being pushed by a couple of bricks. So the Wreck had access to UEF, Cybern, and Aeon technology. Just needs the Seraphim, and he'll have the Quadfecta. Quadfecta? Because I know it's Trifecta, and is it Bifecta? I think it's Quadfecta. Anyway. You can see those bricks. A lot of rapid fire gunness on those bots. Very effective at taking out T1 and T2 targets just due to the fact that they fire so quickly. Of course, very similar to the Cerberus turret, except these guys are actually more effective than the Cerberus turret. So, and they're mobile. So, kind of a better choice for mobile defense. The T3 bomber here from the player of M gets shot down. It's always disappointing. The essentially point defense, but direct, not direct line of sight. What is it called? A point and click adventure game for these for Seraphim anti-air defense. We're seeing a couple of missiles launch against these mexes. It gets taken out. Wouldn't be surprised to see No Red View build up some DMD for that issue, but we are seeing some facilities come online here on this upper plateau. One land, one air, trying to get a nice breath of not congestion, but a nice blanket of protection here for that southeastern side. Spam up SAMs across the map. Says SPCA. Well, SAMs are always a good choice. Of course, they are the best AA defense in terms of not standard defense, but stationary defense. We are seeing the comm of Jip being assaulted by some barge forts, gets under the water, and now the ASF here from Team 1 will engage. Does look like the Wreck has more. A couple of ASFs here from the purple player of Moi will come in to assist, but this is going to be an air control win here for the Wreck. Oh, it's just it's not looking. Both groups of ASFs retreat, and his gunships just landed, being like, nah, it's fine, we'll just land, don't worry about it. The AA coming off of those T1 units is impressive, but not enough to really deal with a horde of ASFs, though. Interceptors would go in and get annihilated. There is conversation saying Cybern ASFs are worthless, and SPCA feeling the same sentiment. I don't really know which ASF is the best. Let me know down in the comments your opinions about ASFs. I feel like, they're all the same, except for like little minute changes. I think one of, not my minute differences, I think the Cyberns have the cloak ability? No, it's stealth ability. Right? No, yeah, because these are Seraphim. We don't have... Oh, yeah, the Gemini, they have the personal radar stealth, which is, excuse me, fine for not being shown on the radar, but in a confrontation against a horde of ASFs, you don't really need radar. Or, radar stealth, so not really that important. But a group of Stingers here for Jib wants to come and engage these units, but this ASF are just hanging out, waiting to be given an order to attack. It doesn't want to risk all those gunships going to waste. Group of Harbingers to the west. There's a large number of T1 Lobos here for Jib. He's just trying to do the spam tactics of constantly having units on the field. Of course, they're not as strong, and so T3 units just roll over them. But this position has been completely wiped out here for Jib, giving Team 2 control of the middle of the map, or at least the middle causeway at least. But to the east, you can see the slow movement to the south of No Red for You's forces. We have a decent amount of Othams coming in to probably flank these bricks here. The bricks will actually move into the water. Both of these bots and tanks have torpedoes. I don't know which one does more damage. I don't know. But the Othams will actually come out of the water as a 3v2 advantage here. I feel like the Othams win that fight, but they wanted to go after the trebuchets. That's actually a good move, taking out the enemy artillery. And now these units from the front line will have to fall back, giving some more breathing room here for Jib and his forces. But more of these Othams are appearing, and there's a large group of bricks underneath the water now. They're going to come across that little pond and probably go either straight for the base that houses the commander of Moi, or go north straight for the comm of Jib, one of the two. We're seeing movement to the west from Percival's as well. So we have Harbs and Percival's. Oh, that is a deadly mix. One targeting high, single fire damage or high value targets, and one targeting all of the spam because of the rapid fire nature of those Harbingers. But the bricks will emerge on that northern side of the pond. They almost take out that other Otham sitting in the water, but now reclaim efforts here for Team 2's player of M. Trying to get some eco in this game. They have both crossed 100. One of them, TYOF, going to cross 200 here pretty quickly, and one brick gets in this mix of T2 Mechs, takes out all the defenses besides one tactical missile defense. Is being shot down by some bombers, but it will grab both of these Mechs and deny some of that eco here for Team 1. You can see that horde of Stingers is going to start to be assaulted by these ASF. Team 1 knows it. Well, of course they should have known, I guess. Some ASF are called to deal with as much as they can, take out some more gunships, but the rest of those ASF are actually held back in reserve. They don't want to engage over all of this anti-air presence. They need something on the ground, like an experimental, which I would assume that the wreck would have built by now with 642 mass per second at 27 minutes. But I don't see anything, which is kind of weird. It has a huge air grid, at least is progressing on that. But the first experimental of the game is No Red for You. He has built the chicken either... What? Where is it? I don't know where it is. Is it in the main... Oh, it is in the main base. Okay. It's going to be a little walk there. Team 2 will probably notice it by the time it gets to the front line. But, better than having nothing. We have this little group of Zooey trying to take out this shield emplacement. They're actually doing a decent job of just distracting No Red for You. And now one Otham will essentially clear this entire plateau eventually. But again, still base wars here for Team 1 and Team 2 on this eastern side, just throwing missiles and artillery at one another. Whereas the middle causeway has essentially it's just a land battle back and forth. No really base wars, and to the west, it's essentially just not no man's land, but essentially no man's land. There's really not a whole lot going. I love this move here. A couple of frigates here on both sides of the cut off lake, I guess, with one facility, and it's upgraded to T2. Probably will go for maybe missile ships. That'd be really expensive though in that position. Probably would build missile ships in this pond or this pond, one of the two, just so that they're closer to the middle of the map, can take out more of those structures. Team 1 doesn't have access to missile ships. They don't have Aeon technology unless they capture a engineer, which I haven't seen done in a very long time. But I guess it does happen from time to time. There is a nuke launcher built here for M, and it's halfway loaded on its first nuke. Does Team 1 know about it? Yes, they do. They are fully aware of it. That spy plane's going to fly overhead and see it once again. Does Team 1 have any nuke defense? Nope. No, there's one in the main base, and they have their own nuke, and it just finished being constructed. Now the missile is currently loading. Oh, there's one here, and there's one here. So all of the main, at least the 3 main bases here for Team 1 are protected. However, the outlying bases, the secondary bases, are not. And I feel like that's a missed opportunity. I don't feel like it. It is a missed opportunity. Because these mechs are vulnerable, the Calm is vulnerable, the Omni is vulnerable. It's just a lot of things are vulnerable here for Team 1. But they just built a central SMD, so I should probably just wait a couple seconds before I say anything. And then see if anybody does anything, which they just did. So I was just going to comment that they should have a central one to protect more vital assets, and they just did, so that works. But that chicken is going to charge forward against a bunch of engineers trying to just reclaim, trying to just build some mechs for their families, and ASS will come in and fly over the top to kind of protect that. Not kind of, but will protect that chicken. But then they are called to the back, which doesn't really do anything. What does the ASF count look here for both teams? We have 54 and 86, so let's call it 140 here for Team 1, and for Team 2 we have essentially almost the exact same 136. We have another chicken down here, and the comm of TYOF gets taken out by that chicken from No Red For You that walked all the way down here. Now that chicken's going to wipe out this eastern side of the map. There are a decent amount of gunships here from both players remaining. Chicken is badly wounded. He's going to try to retreat or at least go in the water, but it's not going to get there in time. He's trying to navigate around this PD, and that will be a hole here for Team 2 to plug. Gunships trying to do what they can to hold off the advance. ASF's here for both teams, kind of hovering around those gunships. They knew it was going to be a hot-bedded issue here. They brought their ASF to bear. The 2 chickens were on the map at the same time here for Team 1. The first nuke is launched. Where is it going? I don't know where it's going. Let's see. Let's follow the... I didn't see the line of where the target was. It's going eastward. Looks like it's going for this base here for No Red For You. Is the anti-nuke loaded? It is. And that base will be protected for now. And it's not going to drop short anywhere because there's really nothing worth on that trajectory besides that main base. No Red For You is in the water, being escorted by a couple of engineers. So if Team 2's players are savvy, they'll probably like, oh, why are there just engineers hovering around the water? But that nuke is shot down. First nuke of the game is not a dud, but it does not work. Sadly here, I love to see those explosions. The Aeon one is the second best, of course. The Seraphim one is the best by far. And it's just kind of sad to see. I don't see the pretty lights and explosions. But it does, again, that slow march of red down the map, kind of like blood dripping from the, from the top of a mirror to the bottom of a mirror or something. Just like slowly making its way down. Very menacing here. In perfect analogy for the season of the year. Of course, we are closing in on Halloween, which is next week. And is anybody excited for Halloween? Does anybody dress up? Does anybody do anything fun and exciting? I don't really, but yeah, that's just me. Maybe I'll dress up once every couple of years or something, but I won't dress up as anything this year. Let me know down in the comments what y'all are gonna do. And I've heard some pretty interesting things. Some people go out to dinner. Some people go trick-or-treating with their kids or grandkids if they're, of that age. But everybody has their own traditions, family or otherwise. So let me know down in the comments how you guys feel about Halloween. We are getting into the cold parts of the year, at least in the Northern Hemisphere. Is it? Yeah, Northern Hemisphere. So everybody stay warm. Don't get too cold. And if you're especially in colder places, good luck. That's all I have to say is good luck staying warm. But we have a Harbinger here that got into the back line, cut all the way across. I was wondering what was going on over here. But it is reclaimed not after it takes out the missile launcher. That is probably one of the most what is it? Not eco-friendly. What is the most oh shoot, what's the word for it? It's where it's like really one of the most cost-effective Harbingers I've ever seen. Well, I guess there's a couple more over here, but one of them took out that entire nuke launcher by itself. Good on that one. That's going to be a huge grab here for Team 2, knocking out the nuke. Oh man, that was Good thing I caught that at the last second because I was like, oh, what is that? What's going on over there? Oh, that's a harbinger. Oh. But still more SAMs just being spread around the map here for Team 1. They want to nullify the air advantage that Team 2 currently has. It's starting to go tip kind of 50-50 in terms of ASF, but Team 2's the wreck focusing a lot more on that gunship production. The broadswords are highly effective and can do lots and lots of damage. They're designed to take out ground targets versus the restorers taking out air targets. So, and that is his goal. There's a lot more ground targets right now. There's a crab built here for a jib. That's going to push forward. Does need bouncers or does need cougars or something to protect it from those gunships. But there's a lot of T2 flak here in the middle, but needs a lot more. And there's just a bunch of bricks waiting in the water. I guess bricks and Percival's here. Bricks more effective in the water considering they have torpedoes. But Percival's obviously designed to take out very chunky targets like the chicken and the crab. But the SMDs are actually being spread around the front line here for Team 1's player of No Red Field. Wants every base to have something. And this one doesn't have a shield, but just got built, so maybe there'll be a shield around it. This front line here for Team 2 looks very weak. There's a lot of bricks here, but there is a chicken and a decent amount of Othams. I wouldn't be surprised to see that group. Oh, nope, it's moving northward. Never mind. They're going to support the Colossus here in the middle of the map here. And there's a bunch of AA. It's not going to do anything against a Colossus, so not the best move there. Percival's come out of the water to deal some damage to that crab. They took out actually a decent amount of hit points, dropping it almost into the yellow. But they'll have to be retreated due to the fact they just don't have enough firepower to take it out. That chicken will push forward with its longer range against these bricks. And again, this is where APM is starting to be taxing here for the wreck. There's a lot going on. It's essentially 3 players all devoted to their lanes, whether that be top, middle, shared, and then the red few on the bot lane. Or these, but yeah, bot lane. But the wreck has to go between all 3 lanes, essentially. The player of M focusing on air production and, of course, that nuke and an Awasha. But there is a Colossus here. That Colossus will push that chicken backward. The chicken is under threat. There's a second one here coming to assist. There's a lot of Othams. The Othams are being taken by those arms. They're going to be crushed to death by those very crushy arms. Very gigantic circular arms. And now the rest of those bricks will push forward. The Oblivions were in range to take out the first chicken, but the Ironstone will be activated here pretty soon. It cannot be reclaimed, as I have learned from the last, I think it was last video? 2 videos ago? Somebody mentioned that to me and went, oh, didn't think that was changed, but okay. And it does kind of make sense that being able to reclaim it was kind of cheesy. But being able to pull it off was hard, to be fair. But that Colossus will go down. That chicken being assaulted by PD. It could actually assault this position, but there's so much more PD here. The chicken trying to just dodge, trying to take out the rest of those bricks. A couple of bricks come out of the water here, but there's 2 more. There's all the chickens here. There's 1, 2, 3 chickens online here for No Red Few. He's pumping out chicken as fast as he can. He has 2 chickens here. Actually, yeah, he has 2 chickens here in the middle, actually here for Moi, being assaulted by a Mega. Where did that Colossus go? Did it go down here? It couldn't have walked that far that quickly. To the northwest, yes, the missile ship has been built. The Torrent class missile ship makes its appearance in a contained body of water once again. Oh, actually, the Colossus is over here. Does Team 1 know about it? No. Oh, they do. They do see the sonar signatures, and these crabs will wait. They do have a nice shot on that Colossus, though. It's poking its head out of the water. Of course, the crab has the better range on it, and that Colossus will have to retreat back into the water before it is killed off. The Perseus have to take a lot longer of a walk to walk their little arms out. You can see them just kind of just hovering right under the surface of the water. But No Red Few builds another experimental. It's probably another chicken, if I were to guess. He actually has the most mass on Team 1 at almost 800 mass per second. And they built, no, not a chicken, an Awasha. Oh, I love to see those. Ooh, what is he going to go after? The 3 chickens here on the front line here for him have taken out this whole position here. And now that eastern front looking more and more open here for Team 2 to just ram whatever they have through it. The engagement occurs. There was another Colossus under the water. Team 1 is bleeding here now. That second Colossus takes out that other crab. The AA support here, or the AR support, not the AA support, will be annihilated here by all of those ASF. Team 1 positioning their ASFs to engage once these Colossus come in better range. 2 missile ships now taking out everything up here on this upper plateau. But hopefully, there is not a whole lot up here, to be fair. The ASF fight engages, pings go down. Team 1's player of Jib needs to get in there to assault those ASF. The ASF fight we've been waiting for will engage. The ASF get a bad positioning, though. A lot of them trying to attack these ASF here from Mui. That'll be a huge advantage here for Jib, and force the retreat of those enemy ASFs from the wreck. Does look like Team 1 now has air control for now. Not dominance, but it does have control. There is a crab going to poke its head out of the water, and there's 4 chickens nearby. That crab will not win that fight, but another nuke is launched here from this position. Oh, actually, it's not. Launched from all the way in the rear guard for Team 1's player of Mui. He gets that nuke off, and where is it going? It's going to that front line. Oh, it actually is decently positioned, but both of those Colossus split, fearing that there's possibly a nuke inbound. Oh, will it clip any of the Colossus? I don't think so. Oh, it does, just barely. One of them does fall. It was pretty weak, though. The second Colossus to the north is still running through this position here for, I guess it was originally Zardos's, but I guess his position, no, his position was right here. But this Colossus will just take out as much as he can. Would like to take out the nuke launcher, though. This one is almost loaded. The Harbingers are fairly close. Launch that nuke as soon as it's built. Oh, it's going to hurt. Oh, they're trying to build it faster. The pigeons go down. Reclaim orders were given on the first one. The second one is destroyed, though. This air grid is gone. It is all gone, and that's pretty much, maybe the Colossus will get that T3 air headquarters, and then maybe these mass extractors, and that'll be it. But losing that nuke right before it was loaded, oh, it's gotta hurt. It's better than losing it while it was loaded, like what happened last video. Maybe it was last video that I made the comment about those chickens. But at least maybe it was. I don't know. But the ASS now have the scent of that Awasher, and there's now an enemy another Awasher here. The chicken's going to eat a lot of plasma from that explosion. Those ASF are flying over to try to engage the experimental bomber, but they're taken out. Team 2's play of the wreck hardly has any in reserve. The Awasher comes in again. Nice position there. Takes out a decent amount of units. There is a lot of AA here. Just got to be kind of cognizant of that. The Othams are engaging the bricks and the Megalith underneath the water, but the Megalith does have torp defense, so we'll be able to divert at least some of those torpedoes away from its main body. But still more Harbingers. Actually, these are Percivals this time raining in. Oh, the Omni. Take out the Omni's right there. Take out the Omni. Take out the Omni. It's right there. No, don't focus on the units. Take out the Omni. It's right there. Take it out. Oh, come on. Oh. That's frustrating. Awasher comes in. It looks like some bombs already went off. Impacts the shield. Doesn't do any lasting damage. Colossus trying to guard this eastern approach. Not looking good here for Team 2 on this eastern side. The amount of Zooey just raining and just encircling this mountain, or sorry, mountain/plateau, is very deadly. The bomb goes off and punches through the shield and takes out some of those facilities underneath. The nuke here from Team 1, that's another one that's pumped out. They're going fairly quick. This one is launched. I think it's going to go after this position. Maybe even go after this position, but that anti-nuke is almost loaded. Awasher trying to do what it can. Shields are coming online all the time. Takes out a P-Gen, but it will be annihilated by those ASF here from the wreck. The wreck, pretty much the last of his ASF. At least the ones that he's built up. He has more back here, but that's about it. That nuke will be launched. Actually going for this position, it looks like, where it's pumping out all of those shields and other units. And that Colossus is going to eat some nuclear fire here. There it goes. Kaboom. Takes out a lot of those hit points. It's got to hurt. Oh, look, another Awasher was dropping its bomb somewhere. Where is it? Oh, it's up here. Takes out the rest of this facility, but it will be annihilated by all of that AA. And, of course, the ASF coming in to take it out. Will the crash damage do something? Bomb gets released. Will impact the shields. Crash damage doesn't kills the shield and a couple of mass stores, and that's it. Not really worth it. Could have just flown that off screen. But it does look like there are some victories here for Team 2's player of the wreck, pushing forth on this western side, while Team 1 pushes on that eastern side. It is a 3 chicken horde versus a Colossus. That Colossus dies. Utashala is built as well. This Ion Storm taking out a lot of those hit points for this Colossus. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Nice little positioning of the rivalry commences once again. There it goes, and it falls. Gonna get a nice little shot of it, but he died way too quickly. At least a lot quicker than I thought. These crabs being very annoying for the red few, having to constantly go back and deal with them hiding in this water. Does look like a chicken did die in that water, though, probably due to the crab's torp bombers, which is very funny considering it was underwater. The chicken essentially drowned, but 4 chickens on this northern side here for Team 1 are going to hold for now, but I think this one will die. I think that'll be it. There's even spearheads back here. There's spearheads over here, trying to launch missiles constantly on these chickens that don't move, which is a good play for units that don't move, but you know, there's more and more being built all the time. Look at this, just the string of them coming in constantly. There is even a Monkey Lord in the mix here as well. So Team 1 pumping out experimentals as fast as they can. Team 2, what are you doing? Nuke pings go down for this position. There are there's a point defense nuke being built to take out these chicken. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Point defense nukes are always fun to watch. Here comes the bricks chasing the chickens. That you will run into this brick wall. Oh, there they go. Oh, ouch. That's gotta hurt. Now how much mass is currently on the map? Oh, that has got to hurt. 18,000 just in on screen, and total map 379,000, almost 400,000 mass on screen. That is a lot of mass. Does look like strap bombers come and take out that crab. Now there's still 2 more chickens here on this eastern side. This huge wall of bricks is not going to let that through, unfortunately, here for No Red for You. So forward momentum pretty much back in the direction here for Team 2's player of the wreck. Again, trying to focus all of these different lanes, all these different avenues of attack. It is very taxing on that APM. He started to build a Salvation rapid-fire artillery installation. We'll see if he gets to finish that, using all of the tech to his advantage, regardless if it's Aeon, UEF, Cybern, or Seraphim. Focusing more on the original 3, as I call them, the ones that came with the original release of the game. And then, of course, the Seraphim faction was added with the release of the DLC for Forged Alliance, and then obviously Forever is the fan-based, not fan-based, but the community-driven continuation of the game, which is what we're currently playing. Currently watching and playing the game on. Which has been an awesome community. Everyone's been very welcoming, very appreciative of the videos that I make. It's awesome to see that kind of support from everyone, and I just want to shout out to everyone for leaving those comments, for leaving those likes, for even just watching the video. I just really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Really, really do. I do love this positioning of the radar all the way up here. Don't like the placement next to the SMD though, but at least they're getting a nice readout on what's going on that side of things. They have Omni all the way over here, and then a huge amount of vision here, almost to the edge of the map. I'd like it more in the middle, but this is now no man's land occurs in the middle. Both of this group of mechs is not even being sought after anymore. We have 5 chickens versus 3 Colossus, and another one on the way. Who will fall first? Who will die? Who will survive? Who will make it to the end of the match? Who knows? But we'll know in a couple minutes. The first chicken is down. The first Colossus is down. The second one will fall here pretty quickly. The Ion Storm goes off. The chickens will actually retreat in the face of that Ion Storm. Ion Storm heavily going after this Colossus, though. The backup chicken comes in to put even more plasma down. The second chicken goes down. They're being sandwiched by Percy's and by Bricks and by Harbingers. It is the mix of armies here. It's like the Battle of 5 armies, essentially, but 3 instead of 5. That Colossus will fall. The chickens are surrounded. This one will die. This one will probably die. And this one might make it out of that, but we'll see. Huge Huge losses here for both teams here. That chicken's just going to run over that old chicken's dead body. The Storm goes off. Percy's are firing as best they can. Bricks as well. A couple shots go off, and then there's a monkey to come to assist, but this position is just full of mass now. Let's see how much. Oh, need to pull out the little menu on the side. 100. Let's see how close can I get. 100,000 mass on screen right here. That's a lot of mass. That is a lot of mass. Collosus just sitting here waiting to be given orders. Nuke not being focused as much. A little bit of focus, but not a whole lot. Trying to build more air grids to help assist with the air game, which it's fair. They need some assistance. Power issues looks like it's oh, he doesn't have any shield. Well, he does have shields. Does he have power issues? No, he's starting to fix it, but it looks like he was having power issues for a minute. Still trying to build that salvation. It's at it's at 50%, so it's still got a little ways to go. We are at 48 minutes in this game. Team 1, what is your big trump card? I'm waiting for it. Let's see, we got another air grid still there. Lots of chickens. Another Awasha. Mass FAF farms in the corner. Another nuke gets launched, and he still has one more in the clip as well. Finishes that Awasha as well, so he'll have a lot of access. And what is this? We have a Yolana Ost, and it is loaded. Ooh, this is going to hurt Team 2. Does Team 2 know about it? No. Oh, they do. They know about it. That nuke will launch. Now 2 nukes inbound, 1 super nuke and 1 regular one. The super nuke probably should go after this bait. Oh, that's just, see, that's just mean. Going after the ASF. Didn't even know the ASFs are even there. Oh, they know the ASFs are there. Oh, that's just mean. Are these ASF going to move, though, is the question. As long as no air units come in or no major units come in. Oh, let's see. Will it? Ooh. 1 nuke goes off. 1 anti-nuke goes off. The second one goes off. Oh, it looks like a third one tried to be thrown as well. They'll lose that one. They have none loaded here. They have none loaded here. 1 more anti-nuke. We'll take out that base. There's 5 loaded in this one, so the wreck is safe for now. But it looks like the player of M will lose essentially everything. And oh, no, don't launch it there. You could have launched it here. Aww. That's disappointing. The second YOLO nuke has been launched, and it's loading fairly quickly. Does Team 2 have an answer for this? Do we have anything in chat about it? Might really want to put all eco into a GC for mid. Red is making experimental. Their red. Yeah, because they did have a red, and their red died. Unfortunately for them. That nuke will hover over the top. Of course, we know it's landing right on top of the wreck. First anti-nuke. Second anti-nuke. The nuke was able to make a curve and go straight down, so maybe needs like what, 4? Somebody told me it's 4 SMD being assisted will be able to halt 1 YOLO, just due to the amount of assistance and mass and all of that. But Awash is trying to puncture this western side for these chicken. Don't tell me the nuke. Oh no, it's the Billy Nuke. So the Billy Nuke did make its appearance. Hey, there we go. Love to see the Billy Nuke, that slow-moving target. More SMD being built all the time to help assist in defense. The second nuke will be killed off by this SMD, but 1 more nuke, and that will be it. The Billy Nuke goes off, takes out 4 T3 mass extractors, so a decent chunk of the Rex eco is down. I mean, he still is hovering around 1,000 mass even. We saw it here, folks. 1,000 mass even per second. And he is dropping fairly slowly. Team 1 still in the lead by a decent amount, by 2.2k mass versus 1.1. They're leading by almost 800,000 mass. ASF fight once again. Team 1 will probably win that. The Awash has come in. They're trying to take out some SMD. That doesn't work. The first nuke is launched for the anti-nuke. The second one will make its curve and impact the ground. Here it goes, the slow march of death. Kaboom. Takes out everything. There goes that air grid. There's even more SMD back up here. Oh, almost takes out that SMD. Almost takes out the wreck, but he survives just barely. And now it's just blanketing the map here for Team 1. Both players of Moi and Red are pumping out those nukes. This nuke is going to land in the same position we saw earlier, but It's just going to hurt even more. Insult to injury there, I guess.
Strategic
Both the...
detected.
Oh, this base is going to be assaulted next. There's one about to load. This one, let's see, none of them are loaded. We have the Billy Nuke helping. So all three players in some form or another have nukes, whether it's a Billy Nuke on the commander, the standard nuke out of a silo, or the experimental YOLO launcher. The YOLO launcher. The experimental nuke launcher of the Yolana Os. Here comes that Billy Nuke in, takes out those two mexes. The salvation does come online, and it's pumping out rounds as fast as it can. There goes that second nuke. There it goes. Kaboom. Takes out everything in its vicinity. Look at that thing. Very pretty. Both comms are trying to hide, trying to evade those incoming missiles. Artillery constantly raining in. Will they take out the YOLO? If at all they take this out, at least they'll have some form to come back in the game. They're still losing by a decent amount, but the shield is almost down. Needs to keep impacting the shield. Oh, a second one comes online. Ooh, third, fourth comes online. Looks like somebody is microing the shields. At least that's kind of what it looks like. But that nuke goes off. The other nuke goes off. The whole main bases here for Team 2 are essentially wiped out. There's this one back here. And that is it. They're not giving up. They could have left by now, but they're going to hold out to the end. Salvation stopped. Okay, there it goes. I was like, it stopped firing for a second. There it goes. All right, just they kept rendering. It didn't render the artillery shells, but that shield still being assisted. Oh, it's almost. There it goes. It's almost going to fall. Oh, but the shields pop back online here. It does look like Red is microing them himself. You can see the shield be loaded and then regen just to protect the main one. Wants to keep that YOLO online. This position here will fall. Billy Nuke's impacting some shields. Two anti-nukes are loaded in time to deal with that, but there are two chickens en route. This one will die pretty quickly. The building SAM sites. There's a couple of shields protecting this salvation. There's even a strap bomber going directly after the comm of the wreck. The comm of M is going into the water down here. Those chickens going to run through, take out this salvation. That salvation hasn't taken out the YOLO just yet. There it goes. Will its last shots do it? Probably not, but let's go see. No, they're still assisting the shield. No, it's not gonna come offline. And the comm of the wreck goes down to, let's see who gets the kill. Oh, the wreck just control Ks. Last player standing here for Team 2 is M. He control Ks as well. It is a victory here for Team 1 on the northern team, with nukes still raining in to decimate the environment. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Please like and comment down below what your favorite moment of the video is. And of course, if you haven't hit that subscribe button down below the video, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I know not everybody does, but thank you for doing so. And again, thanks for coming in and watching the video. I feel like in terms of the most underrated player, the MVP of the game, I mean, I don't want to give it just to No Red for you just because he built the YOLO. Because that's like, okay, you built the experimental that ended up winning the game, but that's not the only thing that contributes to winning said game. I feel like, I mean, the Rack did a whole lot with what he had. It was just APM taxing at this point, trying to essentially micro 3 different lanes and air. It was very taxing on him. He did build a salvation, so that did help him. Would have helped him had the YOLO not been built. Definitely would have put a lot more focus on Team 1 going after that salvation. But I feel like in terms of overall players, I feel like the Wreck, he was the highest rated player. He dealt with a lot. He stayed there pretty much to the very end. But in terms of winning the game, I feel like No Red for You did, I think, a considerable amount, considering he knocked his opponent out of the match. At least I think he did. It was 54 minutes long. It has been a minute since that player, who was it? Not Pepe's. TYOF died. I mean, he's claimed essentially the whole eastern side of the map for himself, and that put a lot of pressure on Team 2 for focusing this eastern side. Team 2 focused on this northwestern side for pushing northward, and they got pretty far in. They took out the base of Zardos that once existed. They took out that nuke launcher. They took out a whole lot that was here, up there. But I feel like overall, No Red For You was very solid. He kept pushing. He kept working on that goal of going straight south and then going westward. He constantly built chickens just galore. He had a decent amount of eco here at the end of the game, 870. So a lot of eco to his name, was able to pump everything out that he needed. But I think that MVP will go to No Red For You just because he was solid essentially all game. Didn't give up, didn't retreat. Just he retreated a little bit for his commander, but he kept pushing it and kept pushing it, just little by little, inching his way forward, and eventually crossed the finish line. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and comment down below, and of course, I'll see you in the next one.